would be, and I would have been wrong. It is still freezing, and we are finally getting to drop off all of the food from the HNI Hy-Vee trailer. In case you missed it, we did hit our matching goal. We had about $13,000 worth of food. Chris, can you maybe swing over with me? We don't have to do this live mobile stuff very often here, folks, but we've got Matt Schweitzer and Chris Street from Hy-Vee up in there loading it off. There's probably about 3 or 4 pallets already. Yeah, those will just go in my truck. Santa and the dinosaur apparently had a little bit of a issue, let's say. They got impaled, folks. They got impaled apparently. Apparently the Hy-Vee parking lot isn't a safe place for Santa Claus, apparently. No, the wind got him. We'll get them all patched up for next year. You guys can just set them in the back for right now. That's the fun of live TV. Eric, we've got Eric Zillig and a bunch of the other HNI guys here with me. Eric, what do you think? Was it worth it?
Oh, absolutely worth it. Hey, and it's cold and windy this morning, so we are freezing for food.
Yeah.
The last time we were together, it was way too warm. The weather was too nice.
It was, and that's, I mentioned it a couple times. Chris, we're probably going to need to get out of his way, but the last time we were talking about freezing for food, it was about 50 degrees or so, 55. We didn't even have to have jackets on, but the cool thing about this, so we've got several pallets here. Well, I don't know, 5, 6, 7, I don't know, a lot. We've got the donations from Eastern Iowa Landscape, The Rendezvous, of course, HNI, Impact, Anytime Fitness. I know I'm missing somebody else. But we'll go inside here in just a minute and kind of give you guys an idea of what all there is going on out here. But the nice folks from GPC, as you can tell, were kind enough to send a forklift from down the street, so our life got a lot easier. So big thank you to them, because I would really have hated to see Matt actually have to carry stuff. In the past, we had a lot of the bags of it, a lot of the business donations this year, we kept on pallets just to admittedly make our lives easier. And so it is cold out here, Matt. Luckily, folks, you can't hear Matt right now. Matt's being his normal Matt self and just being Matt. Whew. Holy cow. That's brisk, folks. I hope you are all inside. All right, Chris, let's swing back over for a second, and then we'll maybe go inside and see what's going on in there. We've got rice. I believe, Matt, is that the rice? That is literally a pallet of long grain rice. Who am I missing? I got, Affordable Metal. Holy cow. Affordable Metal, Eastern Iowa Landscape, The Rendezvous, Impact, Anytime Fitness. What other? HNI, of course, yep. Is that that's the big ones this year, yeah. And what else do we have back there? We still got, so there's these pallets. There's a couple more pallets back there. Chris apparently has been slacking. Huh? Which one? Was it a Sentra? Yeah, I think you might be right. There's a couple more pallets back there, but we'll take a moment. Chris, let's go inside. Whew. Because I've had enough freezing for food, folks. I take that back. I've had enough for this moment. Of course, we're going to do it again next year, so go ahead and start preparing now, because I have a feeling, Lieutenant Lucas, what do you think? Are we going to need freezing for food again next year, probably? Yeah, we are. Okay. All right. Go ahead. Yeah, come on. You can do it. See, this is the great part about this part, guys, is I did all my work that first week. I get to just watch them unload. We got some more HNI folks here helping out. And what you see here is this is the pile from Tantera's truck over at Fairway. And if you've never been to the Salvation Army before, this is actually kind of a neat multi-purpose room that they use as their chapel. But also during the holiday season, it doubles as distribution center for the gifts. So you can see the gifts, some here, some here. And Lieutenant Lucas, I know you're busy, but how many, you've already had obviously a bunch of kids go through, or families go through, right? 616 angels. Holy, 200 over last year. Holy cow. So just kind of for scale. So in addition to what you saw out there and in the truck and on the way coming up, this is what we've already brought in. This is that 13,000. And here's the cool thing. Lucas, if I could borrow you for a second. If you could kind of tell us the $10,000 match is set up so that you guys, we didn't want to dump, like triple the amount of food on them all at once, because it's the gymnasium. This is another huge multi-purpose room. And in the past, we've like filled this thing up, and it's still going to be full. But if we dropped basically double again what's here, it wouldn't work. So what it was set up to where you guys can go up to Riverbend and spend that $10,000 as you need to throughout the year. And so just kind of help give people a scale. What did you normally spend like per month roughly up at Riverbend to help support the pantry?
It depends on tighter months. We could spend upwards of $5,000, but on average about $1,500. So this allows us to spend that which budgeted, but expand upon it, which is amazing. It's like getting peanut butter. Yeah, always need peanut butter, but now we can get the jelly, or for the weird ones, we can get mayonnaise for peanut butter mayonnaise.
Wait, what?
I don't know. I've heard that's a common thing. My dad told me that's a common thing. I don't know if that's a real thing.
Chris, peanut butter mayonnaise? Are you? Okay, if Chris is out on it, it's a hard pass for the other Chris Anderson. It's a hard pass for this Chris Anderson. And I'll eat most anything. And I feel like that one's a hard pass. So, and that's one thing that we talked about throughout this whole thing is like, even with everything that this community has done, and we've really kind of come together in the last 4, 5, 6 years, all the food pantries, all the food programs, to really make a dent in the food need. Using like some Riverbend stats, you were still about 580,000 meals a year short for the need in Muscatine. And so like this 10,000, the number that you kind of use is about $1 will get you about 5 meals up at Riverbend because of the bulk and the free food that you get and everything else. So that extra 10,000 match is another 50,000 meals. So that covered another 1/10 of the need. So that's going to be cool. And what I love is it gives you guys the flexibility, and also to help the other pantries as they need it, and talk about, this was one cool story that I heard. And these are the things that I'm proud of about Muscatine, because this didn't happen 10 years ago. So you were telling me a story about one time, was it MCSA was waiting for a delivery and it didn't, like what?
Something happened. And so we said, we'll cover, and we just load up a couple pallets, I think 1,000 pounds of food, and just gave it to them.
And then when the delivery came, they shipped some back over, right, or something. And so it's great to see everybody being able to call each other, because each one of the pantries kind of has a niche that you serve, plus the entire community, right? And it's always nice to see, all of them being able to work together and then have this extra resource. So as we kind of wrap up Freezing for Food, 2 Weeks of Love, Toy Time, all that, we've got, you said 600 angels.
616, something like that.
As people look to, obviously this year's not done, but we've got 2 big things that I want you guys to think about out there. I want to think about the kettle drive. So I want a little update on that. And then also let's start thinking about next year now, right? So kettle drive, how's that looking?
It's looking pretty well. We're trying to get the final counts today to get into this last week, so we know what it is. We're looking, from my estimates, we're about halfway there, so 115 of 230, so 50%, but that'll have to be finalized. It's a little asterisk on it right there.
With Greg, going way back, that was the first time we ever did these like daily, weekly kind of check-ins. Usually it was like, oh wait, you're gonna actually do Matt Schweitzer, everybody. Yeah, he does a great job putting on a show, doesn't he? So that was like the first time like I didn't realize like how complex counting kettles is, and it's like ridiculously complex because of what comes in, who's counting what. But you also have like mail appeal and like all this other stuff. So the campaign's multi-channel, and after I thought about it, yeah, it makes sense. So, this seems kind of about where things have been. And the other thing is the goal has gone up for the Salvation Army tremendously in the last handful of years. Because I remember like when I first started being involved, I think the goal might have been like 125, 130.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Yeah.
What's the goal for this year?
230,000. Yes.
So that's, functionally, the Salvation Army has, in the last handful of years, let's say, kind of doubled its goal, and you've been hitting it because you guys hit it last year, right?
Yes, we did. We made 232,000. So.
And what was the goal last year?
190.
190. Okay.
Yes.
Because I remember it was like I couldn't remember if it was just over or just under 200, and I knew you guys had made it, but that's the great thing, folks, is we all have seen what these programs do. Yeah. And, we look at just this. It takes dollars. It takes everything to do it. And it's all a local thing, right? Like it's us. It's us taking care of us. And that should be a new thing. Us hashtag that, Chris, on everything now. Hey, Matt's coming back, and you notice again, folks, he's using mechanical things here, so his actual labor isn't overly high. It is. How much does a pallet of rice weigh? 18 times 2 pounds, so let's call it 36 a pop. Wow, that's 3 fingers. That's how many the Steelers quarterback uses to pass. That was, folks, you got to give me credit. That was good. That was good on the spot. What a reference. So, Matt, do you have any words of wisdom or thoughts on freezing for food this year? I know you bailed on half of it, but it's rough this morning, folks. It's rough.
It's all good. I do notice that you're in here in the warmth while we're out unloading a truck, but
says the guy who was gone while I was in a trailer in his parking lot.
Yeah. It went really well, though. We had a great business support and community support, and obviously a lot of food in here. And it's everywhere.
Yeah, there's food everywhere. So, folks, thank you again from all of us, HNI, Hy-Vee, Pearl City Media, Discover Muscatine, Salvation Army, all those sponsors, Ruan, of course, yeah. I'll be honest, I kind of forget Ruan because I think of them as HNI, like in that big bucket, but they've been a tremendous help getting the trailers here and there and everywhere, and, we'll put it on the calendar for the second week after Thanksgiving next year. So the first week after Thanksgiving is Toy Time, the toy drive out at Ed Morse, and then we'll follow up with freezing for food again. It'll be right after the stroll, right before Christmas. And any other wonderful words of wisdom?
I don't know about wisdom, but we are entering our final week. And, of course, past my Red Kettle donating, that's awesome. But donating time is so amazing, too. Being able to ring at Hy-Vee. We have so many people that say it's been our tradition, ring at Hy-Vee, bring the family upon some music or some pretty cool costumes, too.
Yeah, and if anybody wants to borrow a costume, I'm sure I know a guy that has a couple. So, with that, Muscatine, enjoy the rest of your day, and don't forget, go attack the rest of the day with an enthusiasm unknown to mankind. We'll see you tomorrow.